So as we pick up with the death of Wolverine issue number 2, we meet up with a man named Koro who is meeting with Wolverine. Now Koro doesn't know this is Wolverine, he simply is just aware that someone has come to Madripoor and is seeking an audience with Viper. Not only that, this person apparently has something they wish to sell and is something that Viper would most likely want to buy. Now initially Koro is playing hardball here, he's doing business tactics I guess, and of course he's telling Wolverine that it's a little strange that he would show up here and he would offer to sell something to Viper, but of course Wolverine says that if Viper's not interested in buying, then perhaps he'll sell it to Mystique, since she is apparently the person that's running Madripoor these days, although Viper is looking to move up in the world. And so what Koro does is he responds to Wolverine when he's surprised to learn that Wolverine actually has this item with him. And so what he does is he asks to see it, he asks to examine this item. And so Wolverine pulls this item out, which is revealed to be a helmet belonging to Tony Stark. More specifically, it's the Mark 9 helmet. And what Koro tells us is that the only advancements, or the only, I guess, technology regarding the Iron Man suit that exists beyond this helmet is in the mind of Tony Stark, indicating that Tony Stark just probably hasn't created it yet. So this is about as advanced as we can get at the moment. And so what he does is, at the request of Koro, Wolverine hands the helmet over, and Koro actually puts the helmet on in order to verify its authenticity, because as Koro states, a lot of things are counterfeited in Madripoor, and this may very well be one of them. And so when he puts the helmet on, he begins analyzing the nightclub, looking around. And among the people that we see here, we of course see Christophe Bernard, who is the adopted son of Victor Von Doom. But we also see that that Mystique is actually in the club, that she's dressed as a man, and is presumably just interacting with various other people or dancing with other people. But again, what this does is it gives Koro the verification that he wants. It gives Koro the verification that he's looking for. But again, Wolverine also says that he didn't come here to deal with an underling, that he came here for the purpose of dealing with Viper directly, and that if she wants to buy this item, then Viper is going to have to grant him an audience so that she can buy it directly. And so Koro agrees and takes Wolverine before Viper. Now what happens is once they actually get to Viper, once Koro introduces this person, although he doesn't specify a name, we realize that Viper knows immediately who Wolverine is, and tells Koro that he's stupid for bringing Wolverine in here, that Wolverine himself is far more valuable than the helmet of Tony Stark. And so again, what Wolverine says is that he apologizes to Koro, that he had basically tricked him, and that both him and Viper have a sordid history, which of course Wolverine touches on briefly by mentioning that the two of them had previously been married. And so what Viper does is she dispatches her henchmen to try to take down Wolverine, to try to eliminate him, but of course Wolverine is easily able to overpower her henchmen, at which point of course Viper begins talking with Wolverine, and she asks him how it was that he was able to gain the helmet of Tony Stark, to gain this Iron Man helmet. And Wolverine says that Tony Stark had owed him one, and that there's most likely people out there that owe him for their very lives, let alone the people that are out there trying to kill him. And so what he says is that the word on the street is that Viper had put a contract out for him, and that there were other ways to try to get a hold of Wolverine if this is what she was looking to do. But again, Viper says that she was not the one that put the contract out, that what had happened is that someone had come to her, and someone had told her that they want Wolverine alive. And so because Viper is well versed in dealing with criminals, with knowing criminals and operating with criminals, she had basically subcontracted this out. She had put the word out that she was looking for Wolverine alive, and that anybody that brought Wolverine to her would be paid a hefty sum of money. Now what this most likely means, and it stands to reason given the very nature of this sort of society, is that when she subcontracted this out, she would offer a fraction of the money that was being offered to her, but she would offer enough that it would entice anybody, indicating that the amount of money that was being offered was a huge amount. And so again, what she tells Wolverine is that she'll give Wolverine the information that he wants, that she'll tell him who the client is, but only if she's able, or only if he's able to defeat her pet, or her dog as she refers to it, which of course is revealed to us as being Sabretooth. Now the question that Wolverine asks to Sabretooth is how it was that he had got mixed up with Viper, why it is that he's associated with Viper. And he has said that, that Viper had basically bailed him out when he had gotten in trouble. But the problem here is that she had basically bitten him. She had poisoned him, and when she did, she had kept him on a short leash, saying that as long as as long as Sabretooth did what she told him to do, that she would basically give him an antidote each day, which I guess ensures that that Sabretooth follows her and does what it is that he's supposed to do. And so again, what she says is that she wants one of them to die. She wants either Wolverine to die or she wants Sabretooth to die. But whichever one survives will find out what it is that they want to know or get whatever it is that they want. And so what happens is Wolverine and Sabretooth begin engaging in conflict with one another. Now Wolverine grabs the helmet of Tony Stark and throws it at Sabretooth, and the helmet of course explodes, but Sabretooth says this isn't enough. This isn't going to be able to do enough to kill someone who has a healing factor. But again, Wolverine is able to presumably overpower Sabretooth, or at the very least it appears that way. But we see before the conflict escalates any further that Lady Deathstrike appears out of nowhere and throws Sabretooth off. Now Lady Deathstrike is actually preparing to deal the killing blow to Sabretooth here. She's preparing to kill him, but Wolverine steps in and says no. The Wolverine says that he's chained up like a dog, and that if he is going to die, it's going to be under an honorable circumstance. It's not going to be as though he was simply taken out into the backyard and shot. And so what happens is Lady Deathstrike lets Sabretooth go and tells Sabretooth that the only reason why he's living now is because Wolverine had requested it so. In addition, it seems as though Wolverine maybe has a change of heart here, not in the sense of killing Sabretooth, but in the sense of his view of Sabretooth. Of course, Sabretooth says that Wolverine is just like him, and the only reason why he had Lady Deathstrike spare Sabretooth is because Wolverine wants to kill Sabretooth in his own way. But of course, as we know, Wolverine is most likely going to die here, and so his chance of killing Sabretooth is non-existent, indicating that he had basically just spared Sabretooth's life for no other reason than because it's the right thing to do, or because it's the nice thing to do. And so what he does is he starts talking with Lady Deathstrike. Of course, at this point, Viper had already taken off. She had bailed as soon as Lady Deathstrike had appeared. And so Wolverine begins the process of bandaging himself up. He begins going through and trying to heal his wounds or recover his wounds. And again, Lady Deathstrike takes notice of this, but at the same time, she also says that whoever it was that had put the contract out on Wolverine had also put the contract out on Lady Deathstrike herself, as well as others like them, indicating that perhaps this person's not necessarily going after Wolverine, but going after what it is that Wolverine possesses, whether it be his adamantium, or whether it be his supposed healing factor, which of course we know at this point doesn't exist anymore. And so again, we see that as Lady Deathstrike realizes that Wolverine doesn't have a healing factor, that he's basically no longer of any use to her. There's really nothing that he can do to help her out here. But then she has a change of heart in realizing that perhaps she can trade Wolverine's life for her own. And she tells Wolverine there's honor in this, that him sacrificing his life for Lady Deathstrike would be something that would be remembered on, that it would be an honorable thing to do. And so again, before Lady Deathstrike is actually able to even attack Wolverine or deal a killing blow, we realize that someone speaks up from behind her, and this person is revealed to be Kitty Pryde, the person that Wolverine had been talking to on the phone. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.
But we had one more important sound we wanted you to hear.